right, my loves. Take a minute, look at this image.
We did this one.
What's going on in this picture? Ava,
I see a bird lady.
what do you see that makes you say this is a bird lady?
Because she has feathers all over her face and her like clothes her clothes and her neck.
Okay, so Ava's calling this the bird lady because she's noticing that there's feathers all over her face and her neck and what seems to be like all over her clothes. What more can we find? Rakim.
I think this is a lady actually dressed up in a costume because I see she has human feet and human hands.
Okay, so Rakim thinks this is a lady dressed up in a costume because you're noticing that she still has human hands and human feet. What more can we find? Navaya.
I think that the pen that she's writing with is coming from her necklace that's a guitar or a viola, because it looks like that the top of the pen is coming from the violin or viola because it looks like it's one of the strings.
Okay, so you're noticing that this pen seems to be coming out of the instrument, which you called a viola or a violin or a guitar, and you said that that's attached to her neck. What more can we find? Luke.
I think that she is making paint out of the bird's feathers because it seems to be that she is using her triangle magnifying glass to take light from the sun and like divide it into 3 different rays, or to make it into like some kind of beacon that will like draw in birds. And depending on the type of bird and the color its feathers are, depends on the kind of paint that she can make out of it. And I think that she's making paint because you could see that she has a palette next to her, next to the paper, and there's like a thing that looks like tubes and possibly a mixing kind of machine, and there's different paints. There's actually, I just noticed the 3 primary colors, blue, yellow, and red, coming out of the 3 different tubes, and she might be making paint.
Okay, so Luke thinks that she might be making paint from the birds, and you mentioned that she's taking the sun and using her magnifying glass to kind of break that apart, and depending on the bird and the color of the bird would create different colors of paint. And then you also mentioned that you think that because of this palette, which you noticed has these tubes, putting blue, yellow, and red paint on the palette, which you said were the primary colors, and you said that this could be some sort of mixing apparatus. What do you see that makes you say mixing apparatus?
Because it seems to have like what looks like a valve in between the 2 green parts, and there might be 2 different things, like maybe there might be bird's feathers in the bottom ones, and maybe like some kind of potion that she makes that might be in the top one, and when she opens the valve it mixes them, and then it spits the paint that she made out of like the tubes.
Okay, so you're saying that this might be a mixing apparatus because it seems like there's a valve in the middle that she might use to actually mix what you said might be bird feathers and possibly a potion she makes so that the paint can come out? What more can we find? Chloe?
I think that she's actually tracing the birds, and that the sunlight she's using, I think she's trying to dry it quickly because maybe the birds are moving, so the paint can't like go all over the place and ruin her tracing.
Okay, so you're saying that it looks like she's tracing the birds, and you said that you think that she's using the sun to possibly dry the paint because the birds might be moving. What do you see that makes you say she's tracing those birds?
Because I see a line coming from the bird, like kind of tracing its back feathers.
Okay, so you're noticing that there's a line that looks like it's coming off and tracing the back feathers. What more can we find? Emery.
I think this is a bird lady, and I think she's making birds because I see 2 other birds in her area.
Okay, so Emery thinks that this is a bird lady and that she's making birds because she's noticing these 2 other birds. What do you see that makes you say she's making those birds?
Because I'm looking at the bird that she has on her table, and it looks like the bird is still and not moving. And I think she's making it because the paint is blue and the sunlight is probably drying the paint on top of the bird.
Okay, so you think that she's making them because you noticed that this one's on the table and you think that the sun might be drying the blue paint that she's putting on it? What more can we find? Rihanna.